Hi all. This is a game played last night in the Muswell Hill Middlesex League, a club match. I was playing white against C.Greenshields, who's about 145 ECF, so I was about 40 points ahead of him on rating, but nevertheless it was a very tough battle. So it was an English opening. I thought I'd go for a gain of space on the queen side with an early b4 here, trying to punish him not playing knight c6, so I don't have to prepare b4 with, say, rook b1. But he didn't seem to mind this gain of space. I even played c5 now. So I was quite pleased with this position, perhaps overly optimistic about it. So we have this c5, dc, bc. Now he played c6, so he's blocking that bishop out, which is a good idea positionally. And these pawns are now fixed. Maybe I have been a bit over ambitious in the opening. I played now even more ambitiously. I played queen b3 check, and after king h8 I prepared to castle queenside because I didn't fancy this potential kingside attack. Maybe it was nothing to worry about castling kingside though, and probably was the best idea. Castling queenside is a big responsibility, not just in terms of extra weaknesses potentially, but also because of knight e4s or knight g4s and the f2 pawn being weak. So we're going to see that soon. Bishop a3, queen e7. Now castle queenside. Knight e4 he chose. So it's a very interesting move, this knight e4. Maybe it's even stronger than knight g4 actually. Knight g4, I was thinking I'll just play the rook to protect it, one of the rooks to protect it. Would this have been playable? Ed, ed. Black has a tactic now, according to my analytical assistant. Knight takes f2. So this shows how dangerous castling queenside can be. It's a lot of responsibility in terms of squares to cover. So anyway, so after knight e4, I wasn't best pleased actually. And after rook h f1, he played simply knight df6, and now he's threatening bishop e6. So I really haven't played the opening very well. He's got a very nice position, and I've given him easy plans with b6. So perhaps I've been too carried away with games of Morozovich recently to play like this. So anyway, I saw one way that I could play this position, which was to give up this bishop, and after knight takes e4, f takes, to play d5 with the idea of trying to get a pawn to d6. Unfortunately, it does lose the exchange, either with bishop h3, because I wouldn't want to give up this f2 pawn, which is now sitting on this semi-open f file, or just bishop g4, and I end up offering the exchange to relieve the pressure. So bishop g4, d6, and now queen goes to d7. So I play queen c2, protecting that knight, but also I'm going to gang up on this pawn to at least get a pawn for the exchange. So I offer the exchange sacrifice now, which he took. And I was getting a bit more optimistic again, even though I'm material down in theory. It is a pawn for the exchange, and the knight is quite good, and this bishop isn't great. And if I can play f4 later, I'll neutralise his f-file pressure, and maybe this d6 pawn will be useful after all. So let's see these factors now. After f4, he immediately played what I consider a kind of blunder, because he played rook e8, and I just took, because that pawn is immune from being taken now, e.g. bishop e5, rook e5, queen c3, and I thought this would be crushing. But my analytical assistant doesn't think so. Queen f5, d7. Oh dear, it seems to be about equal according to my assistant. In fact, black's better. Well, in our post-mortem we thought that was better for white. So what could I do in this position after queen f5? Not a lot. So anyway, so just as well. So after fe, he played actually queen f5 here instead of bishop e5, allowing me knight f6. And now I'm okay again. I've got two pawns for the exchange, and he can't take that e3 pawn because of d7. So after king g8 I play e4. So I get my pawns now in a nice chain, and I'm two pawns for the exchange. And now my analytical assistant does think I'm slightly better by a pawn unit. But it's how to break through now with my rook. So I try on this side, but he's very solid. Then I try to head my king to this infiltration point on a5, but he covers that. He's prepared to cover that. So I put my rook on d4 and I go back with the king, and he covers the king side. So here actually he played for a win. He played b4 and I took, and after rook fb8, now I miss a good move apparently, which is d7. So let's have a quick look at that. d7, rook d7, rook d7, king d7. Oh, e6 check. So I didn't see that. Great. So I play instead b5, and after rook takes b5, I play rook takes a4. But d7 is actually even stronger here now. E.g. d7, rook d8, check, king f5, f7. One of the pawns is queening. So no, I didn't play that. Instead I played rook takes a4. And now he plays a very nice move here. Amazing for a 145 in time pressure with about 2 minutes left. He plays h4, undermining my f4 bishop, allowing this fork now. So I have to trade off rooks, and it's a bit of concern. However, in this position I managed to find a good tactical idea. I play bishop e3, and now here I played bishop g5. He took on e5, so my pawns are getting taken off. I play a little move, king g4 here, a little trap which he fell into finally, a clear blunder. He played rook takes c5, and I just play here d7 now. And it's difficult to stop this pawn. He took, and after f7, my bishop is stopping his king from coming to the defence of that pawn, and his rook can't come behind the pawn. So I'm queening a pawn. So that was a very tense struggle at Muswell Hill again. Let's have a quick overview and summary of this game. It was an English opening which I played far too ambitiously, and instead of casting kingside, I give myself lots of liabilities, like this f-file pawn, this f2, and he exploited that wonderfully with knight e4. So he equalised fully out of the opening. I played this dodgy exchange sacrifice, but at least I got a pawn for it. And now we have this position where he could have actually played bishop e5, but he didn't. He played, in fact, queen f5. So after knight f6 I was comfortable again and was playing almost for a win if my rook had an invasion point, but unfortunately it didn't seem to. It was only when he played b4 that, again, we both had winning and losing chances. And on a couple of times I missed this d6 tactic. It's a shame, but it's easy with Ribka to find all the tactical flaws, because it's like your own super GM. So rook e4, I finally played bishop g5. So, and king g4 gets control of the f5 square, which is important, so that when I do play this d7, he hasn't got any rook f5s after, or yeah, and no rook f5 to stop this f pawn. So after f7, finally I got him. So I hope you enjoyed that titanic struggle. I really enjoyed the game, and it shows that even 140 ECFs are strong opponents sometimes on their night, on their day. Thanks for listening, and see you on YouTube.